Wait, the next speaker. Would you introduce me to back up into It is my pleasure, distinct honor, to bring up to the stage to share her knowledge, her wisdom, and her experience on how she got to where she is today. Please welcome Dr. Shoua Xiong.
一种来自决定一张工具说的多么浓，有种山黑的没说的，今给你录制好，都讲被录 celebration event，都参加一样来自，还一种民谣就给个做，我有男主要放，我有录下面就做，不录内哈，下面就做不做给个，不拿哈不知，要做模像。 I'm gonna try not to cry. 冇住冇我都到咗邊處啦，想我朋友叫下我朋友，我都冇知都俾頓菜。嗰下咗嘢，我都攞嚟個拿個紙都做咩用？ 小姑都还打过，我下了路了，下条路走了年走过那个几个，公路路他们上去了。唐中也一路是小屋间，路我呢，古某个照相，两块高。一餐这到他的古有去打high school levy， 他的有会很重要。However, I was very fortunate that my husband and father-in-law believe in 做给搞，做说来。 She had to do Chai, Yang, Layang to Baule. My father-in-law used to tell us that Yaling to Mosha, Hacho Shako, the Inu Yin Yochu Dasu. I remember sitting in one of my classes in 8th grade, listening to the college admissions, talking to us about the different career paths, as well as teaching us how to set short-term and long-term goals. Listening to the presentation, got me thinking about what I wanted to do in high school. After the presentation, they gave us a writing exercise. The exercise was to write down a few long-term goals and keep it with us so that we could look at the list 5 to 10 years to see how close we come to achieving them. I remember showing my husband the piece of paper, and he said, "It's doable if you really want it." How many of you think that I still have this piece of paper today? These were my long-term goals. 我做拿下单，头个被我们有要那样，比较紧张，哈叫安国啥的，做什么กัน的？嗰一兄弟要做个单 high school， 老兄 later 佢要做单 bachelor's degree， 二兄弟佢要做单 master， then the rest. They just don't want to do that. They usually imagine that okay, maybe I will get my doctorate. When I graduated from high school, I had my first time job. I remember looking for jobs and applying to many places, but no one called me back, except for one delivery company. I was very excited because it was my first job interview. When my husband and I got to that company, they took us into this empty room with a big square box in the middle. When the interviewer was done talking, he looked over at me and said, "Okay, ready when you are." Keep in mind that during this time, I had just given birth to my firstborn, and I was still very weak and recovering. So this was going to be a challenge for me. I attempted to pick the box up. It felt like my insides were coming out. So for those of you that have kids, you know what I mean. I must have tried it like 3 or 4 times, but the box didn't move. I could hear my husband whispering, "Bend your knees and lift the box." He even demonstrated, bend and lift. It was like the episode from Friends when they were carrying the sofa up the stairs and Ross kept telling them, "Pivot," but they weren't moving. That's how I felt at the time. Finally, after witnessing me struggle, the interviewer said, "I'm sorry, if you cannot lift that box, we cannot hire you. We require that you have to lift at least 50 to 60 pounds. So I didn't get the job. I was very disappointed. But I believe that things happen for a reason. Although this interview didn't go through as planned, there will be other opportunities. That night, during our pep talk, my husband suggested that I should go to school instead of looking for a job. He was trying to make me feel better. I took his advice and enrolled in the associate degree program, and that's how my education career got started. I have my second son, Juji, halfway through the program in '93. 18 months later, I completed the program and started working in the accounting field from that point on. Now looking back, I'm grateful for the opportunities that have been presented to me. After working in the accounting field for a few years, I was promoted to the manager position when I was 22 years old, supervising 14 accounting staff that not only were much older than me, but also doubted my abilities to do the job. I had to learn how to work around these difficult individuals and prove to them that I was the boss and I wasn't going anywhere. As if that wasn't hard enough, I decided to go back to school to pursue my bachelor's degree, knowing that it will help me overcome these challenges. So in 1998, I started my bachelor's degree program, and then guess what? I got pregnant with my third son, John Matthew. Quickly after I completed my bachelor's degree, I started my master's towards the end of 2000, and yes, I got pregnant again, and had my daughter Phoebe in summer of 2001. If you haven't noticed, there's a pattern to this madness. Every time I go back to school, I would get pregnant. Fast forward to 2012, 11 years later. During one of our nightly pep talks, my husband and I were kicking around the idea of pursuing our doctorate degree together. My husband was excited, but I was nervous because I haven't been in school for 11 years. However, after our pep talk, I decided to enroll in the doctorate program because Dr. Xiong has a nice ring to it. Don't you think? I told the family that I was going back to school again, and immediately one of my children said, "Wait, is mom pregnant?" The program was very rigorous and intense. We were required to complete a 3-week course before continuing with the program. Pass the course, you move forward. Fail the course, you are out. It was like the red pill and blue pill scenario in the movie, The Matrix. It was so intense that after a week into the course, I had pimples all over my face, and I never get pimples. I went to work, and my staff thought that I had contracted some sort of disease. I was working full-time, going to school full-time. My weekends were spent catching up on schoolwork and writing essays. The struggles were real. My job was demanding too, so I was working 12 hours each day, come home, eat, do homework for about 5 hours, and then sleep for about 3 hours, and repeat the cycle again. I did this for 7 long years. I can't even imagine what it was like for my family. Before I knew it, my baby girl was 18 years old. She was 11 when I started my program. There have been times when I thought about quitting the program because I felt so overwhelmed, juggling with school, work, and the time with my family. However, if it weren't for my amazing supporters, all of you guys, round of applause, I would not be here celebrating this accomplishment with all of you tonight. I completed my doctorate degree in business administration, focusing on organizational leadership. Ladies, this is for you. Surprisingly, the goals that I have set for myself in 8th grade, after 32 years ago, became my reality. My husband was right. The goals were doable, and we did it. So it's not too late. If you have goals, don't hold back and go for it. If you want it bad enough, you can make it happen. To my mom and dad, Xiong, thank you for your words of wisdom and encouragement to finish strong. To all my siblings, sisters-in-law, brothers-in-law, thank you for always telling me I could do it and be the light for everyone. Thank you to my husband, Dr. Zuag, my children, my 2 daughters-in-law, my mother-in-law, Ma To, and my father-in-law, Dong Yi Wang, for always supporting me during this long but rewarding journey. I want to take this opportunity to extend my deepest appreciation to the chair of this event, Dr. Basho, all the community leaders, all the volunteers, and families who came together to put this event for us tonight. There are no words to express how I feel right now. We are truly blessed to have all of you in our lives. Thank you for loving us unconditionally.